Good Monday morning, everybody. It is your friend Chopadon coming at you with the MLB rundown for Monday, August 17th. Let's dive in. While you're here, obviously go down to the comments section, click like, click subscribe, get those notifications so that the video drops to your phone each and every time I do one. This is the rundown, quickly run through MLB for the best stacks, best plays, and the reasons why as we learn to set up the stacks that we want to attack in baseball tonight. We do this several times a week, so hopefully you get a lot out of it. I appreciate those of you that do. Let's dive in. Now, the research station today is not showing FanDuel stuff because FanDuel's been a dumpster fire lately. So we'll just pretend like that stuff doesn't exist. The first thing I do if I'm in the batters matchups tab, I'm going to sort this thing by W score. Descending order. Why? For those of you that are new, W score is WOBA. And I want to find a high hitting batter that has a high WOBA number. And I want to match him up or see if he's matched up against a pitcher that struggles with WOBA against, who gives up a lot of hits against. It stands to reason if you have a lot of hits in your bag and you're facing a pitcher that gives up a lot of hits, probably a green light situation. And that's what this number will bring to the top. So we'll go into the starting pitching tab. Also, while that number, we'll come back to that one in a minute. We'll go over to the old chop shop and we'll actually sort by K score on this side because K score is the exact same thing, but it's with strikeouts. I want to see which pitchers have high strikeout upside and are facing teams that tend to strike out. So knowing that, Matthew Boyd, Zach Gallen, Matt Whistler, whatever, have decent upside today. I'm not saying it's a great slate for pitching. I'm saying these are the best of what we've got in terms of strikeout upside. Somebody like a Gio Gonzalez may come out of nowhere who has a lower K score tonight, may dot all the corners and may blow up. So if you play, those MME type contests, you can have a few shares of him. But generally, you should be taking more shares of the Matt Boyd, Zach Gallens, those types of guys, Ross Stricklings up top, because they're the ones that are typically going to have the better performances. I mean, they're facing the teams that strike out. So once I've looked at that number briefly, just to get an idea of who these guys are, I'm going to come back over here to K score or W score, and I'm going to sort by ascending order this time to push all of the bad pitchers to the bottom. Once I've pushed all these bad guys down here to where the reds and stuff are showing up, I'm looking in this section here for reds kind of across the board. There's a little bit of green in here, but there's red all the way down here. There's red all the way here. There's some red all the way here. These are the pitchers that I want to stack against. They're giving up high fly ball percentages, high walk rates, low strikeouts, meaning a lot of people put balls in play against them. High home runs, high whips, high SIERAs. SIERA is what his ERA should be. So if his ERA should be high, he's probably not a very good pitcher. Therefore, I probably want to stack against him. This isn't rocket science, guys. Target these guys. Justin Dunn, Kyle Freeland, Tyler Anderson. These guys may come out and throw the games of their lives tonight. It happens. It's variance, whatever. But 9 times out of 10, these guys are not very good pitchers. So I want to put my bats in position against them. Justin Dunn, that would be the Dodgers. Kyle Freeland, that would be the Astros. Ooh, sexy. And Tyler Anderson, that would be the Angels. So I'm going to love the Dodgers and the Angels tonight. I'm going to like some Twins. I'm going to like some Blue Jays. I'm going to like some Houston Astros. I'm going to like some White Sox. Right? It's the guys I'm going for. Yet another thing that I'll show you before we dive in to the positions is a good idea to have in the back of your head, who is giving up runs, who is scoring runs. So if I look right now at who is scoring runs, it's these offenses here. Colorado, Yankees, Dodgers, Oakland. Oh, Dodgers. Somebody on our list already today? Oakland, Baltimore, Philadelphia, whatever. These are the teams that are scoring runs per game, right? These are the good offenses right now. I go forward one, and I can show you the pitchers, the pitching staffs that are showing up and giving up a lot of runs against. Boston sucks this year. Target their pitching staff with bats. Are they playing the Yankees tonight? You better like some Yankees tonight. San Francisco Giants. Who are they playing tonight? Oakland? Probably should target some Oakland bats. Pittsburgh, COVID. Detroit, that's the White Sox. Seattle, that's the Angels. Arizona, that actually might be Oakland. Who's playing the Giants? Is it the Dodgers? Whoever it is, these are the teams, their enemies are who you should be loving for bats tonight. Top 3, top 5, top 10, whatever number you want to establish for yourself. Set up a pattern and start paying attention to these weaker pitching staffs and stack against them. Some nights you'll find that Houston will be completely overlooked and they'll score runs. You'll know why they scored runs. Nobody else will. Why? They're too busy worried about WOBA and ISO and matchup rating and pitch type and bleh. Just give me the guys that suck, right? Just give me the teams that suck and I'll target against them. It's that simple. Now, we go back to the batting matchups tab. And we've got our number sorted out here. What I like to do for easy research is use a filter. I can filter any one of these columns that I want and go greater than, say, 575. It's a big slate today. We probably don't even need to go that low. I could probably target 600. What's that number mean? I don't know. It's just a W score telling me high WOBA against a pitcher that gives up high WOBA against. That's all I care about. I don't give a shit if the number's 3 or the number's 3,000. It doesn't matter. All I know is that now when I go through these situations, on FanDuel or DraftKings is going to be tougher. I'm going to have to knock out all of the donkeys that don't have catcher eligibility. Because the first thing I'm going to do is look at my catchers. See how I hold the control button down and I X out all those guys? It only brings forward the guys with catching ability, and that's Garver, Jansen, Grandal, maybe James McCann or Maldonado. If I scroll back over here and look, these are the guys that are over 580. Those are the guys that I would boost their projections. In our optimizer at dfsarmy.com, I would change the smiley face all the way to the left to the adore on these guys. Then I would come over here. I would add all of the first base guys, right? And I would knock out the catchers. And I would check my list again. Vladdy Guerrero, Otani, Listea, Double E, Sano, Bellinger, Guerrero. Now, I'm not going to knock all these guys off. It doesn't make sense. I need to filter my player pool down even more. So, like, even 600 is not enough. There are some bad WOBA scores tonight. That's a good sign for hitting. I might come all the way up here just to, say, the top 5 or 6 guys. It's a deep position tonight, though. If you're playing cash games, you can take some value here and pay up where it might be a little bit more scarce, like at catcher. But in stacking and in MME and stuff, you're just going to want mixes and matches of most of these guys. These are the guys that are most likely to perform tonight and have big games. But good luck picking the one that does. That's going to be lucky. That's a dart throw. So I leave the second base guys on. I knock the first base guys off. Whoops. Knock the first base guys off. And there's a scarce position. Listea, Altuve, Drury, Scope, Muncy, Biggio. These are the guys, you may pay up for these guys because you can pay down at third base or first base. Okay? That's just a cash tip for you. But these are the guys that I'd be boosting their projections in our optimizer. I go to third base. See how I'm skipping because it's got third base eligibility in it. I'm clicking these guys on and off as it needs. And now I've got, a very scarce position. Bregman, Rendon, and Drury, and that's it. Well, I wouldn't be taking Brandon Drury here at 2,700. Everybody else is going to be forced to pay up here too. In a cash game, Rendon and Bregman should be popular. We'll see if it pans out that way tonight. That should be the case. Sometimes it's not. And there's your outfielders to round out what we're doing, and that's usually a deep position. First base was deeper than this, my goodness. But there you go. These are the guys that, for the most part, these top few guys are the ones that I'd be boosting in my projections. So once I've got about the 20 to 30 studs on the slate identified, I boost their projections in the way, and then I set up my stacks and I let it rip. For guys that are VIPs, you've already got 2 videos in the beginner's channel to set up the domination station. It's going to be something that's going to be a work in progress. It's going to be something that I'm going to have to do a few times before I get it efficiently articulated. But for now, you've got a basic structure of how to set the optimizer up and why, using the old stacking method and the new stacking method. It works. Have fun with it. You've got competitive lineups each and every night. You boost these guys' projections. You got your one-offs set up. You've got your stacks. set up based on what I told you earlier in the video, and you're ready to rock and roll. You're going to have some good lineups. You're going to have a lot of bad lineups. It's just the way MME goes. But you might have one breakthrough and do all of the running for all your dogs. However, explaining the process is a little bit tedious, a little bit tough. So we're going to have to make a few of these videos or have ongoing discussions or have lots of questions fired at me, which is fine. I can answer anything in my head at least once. And eventually, the same way to answer the same question will emerge, and that's going to be the best teaching tool. That's how we do it at DFS Army. That's how I do it. I have to have your questions or else I'm useless. I've got all these thoughts that are in my head, all this experience that I've done, all this track record speaking of track record, if you didn't know, just in case you didn't know, yeah, I don't play for big money. We all know that. I'm the notorious small ball, but I can take out any GPP. That was the nickel Saturday night on FanDuel and 143,000 people. If you beat all of those, you're probably pretty legit force to be reckoned with, right? But as you can see, it was one runner that broke free from the pack. And that's how you win these things, right? Most of the time you put in $5, you get $3 back, $2 back, whatever. But every once in a while you can really smash a couple of lineups. And that's what happens. You're not going to win 143,000 person tournament very often. But when you do, it repairs all of the damage from yesteryear. Okay. And it's going to happen for you too, as long as you have a system that you go to each and every day. The same indicator for your stacks, the same indicator for your players, the same way that you set up the domination station optimizer, the same tools at your disposal. And maybe you incorporate something like our leverage stacks tool that is brand new, but that's only one new moving piece. All the others stayed the same. You can track those things when you only add one piece or subtract one piece or change one thing. That's the idea. And that's how you get good and a repeatable process that you can just sit back and wait your time. Manage your bankroll, wait your time until you pop something big. That's the coaching that we preach. That's what I tell people all the time inside DFSArmy.com. So hopefully that's something you're interested in getting help with, whether it's NASCAR, baseball, hockey, football, whatever. Going back down here, this is just since January. MLB, KBO, NBA, that was 4th out of 200 some odd thousand people. NHL, NASCAR, it doesn't matter what sport you want to play. PGA, doesn't matter what sport you want to play. I can show you how to do it. You just need to plug in and ask me questions. So, that said, I'm going to let you go for tonight. Like and subscribe to the video. Use the coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P. Down there in the bottom, trigger 20% off discount. Come be a VIP today. Click the DFSArmy.com link and come be a VIP today. I'll be inside waiting on you. We'll talk to you soon.